Hello Moglets, in today's Genshin Impact video we're going to talk about which hero you should raise next. Before we get started, I want to give a big thanks to this video's sponsor, Honkai Impact 3rd. By the time this video goes up, we'll have version 4.4, which includes an amazing new battlesuit called Dea and Korra, an incredible looking outfit for Mei, cool events, and of course, more. Let's go ahead and talk about Dea and Korra first, as I believe she is the highlight of this update. Dea and Korra is a melee fighter, and as you can see from this gameplay, the combat is absolutely stunning. She practices Western martial arts and has two different basic attacks. While in burst mode, you can cast her ultimate 3 times in a row, with the last one combining the universe's energy like a spirit bomb. But it's actually a massive arrow that deals incredible damage. Besides that amazing new battlesuit, we also have an incredible outfit for Mei. This more faithfully represents her place as the Hairshare of Thunder. And I know what you're thinking, how many lungs do I have to sell to be able to get this amazing outfit? The answer is 0, it's totally free. So yeah, logging in for 7 days will net you 120 crystals, asterite, and even battlesuit fragments. Again, all for free. Also, once the Saga of Aurelia event is launched, you can complete daily missions for up to an additional 1,200 crystals. So what are you waiting for? Come on. Click the link in the description below to start or continue your journey in Honkai Impact 3rd. Also, as a reminder, I am streaming exclusively on Twitch. You can find that link in the description down below if you want to check me out there. I still will, of course, be posting regularly to YouTube as well, whether that's dedicated videos like this or stream highlights from the stream. But if you want to catch me live one day, head on over to twitch.tv/Mogati, drop me a follow, and I'll see you next time I'm live. Okay, without further ado, let's head into the video. The truth is, all heroes have potential and can be good. There are certain heroes, though, that once you get them, you don't need a YouTube video to tell you that you should raise them. In some cases, these are the ultra-hyped heroes like Diluc, Keqing, Venti, so on and so forth. In a lot of other cases, it's simply a unit you've always wanted, either for aesthetics or just because you like their fighting style. Of course, these will be your go-to heroes to raise first. Main priority should be having fun, right? It's important to have team synergy as well, though. I won't go into team synergy too much since I made a video revolving around that, which you can check out right here if you wish. Which hero you should raise will always come down to where you're at in the game. If you're a new player, your whole focus should be on finding a main hero, otherwise known as a main DPS. In my opinion, this should be a character you enjoy using as first priority. If you're not into Klee or Mona's slower paced distance fighting, you won't enjoy using them, and your entire experience is going to suffer. But I digress. Your first step is determining where you're at in the game. Do you already have a solid roster of heroes built? If that's the case, you're mostly going to be looking into improving heroes specifically for the Spiral Abyss, as this is currently the most difficult content the game has to offer. In my own case, I have enough heroes to cover everything besides the final floor of Spiral Abyss, and generally you need a couple of good pyro heroes there due to the huge bonuses. That should have been my next priority, someone like Bennett or Shanling, but I raised Zhongli for some reason. Postscript note, I have indeed raised both of them since writing this, so don't judge. I do also practice what I preach. Anyway, the main thing that you have to ask yourself is what this hero will help you with. On one hand, I have to recommend against just raising someone because you want to without any real plans for them. On the other hand, that does contradict my opening statement of raising the heroes you like. I do believe both of these statements, but it does change somewhat depending on where you're at in the game. Early on, it's totally fine to raise heroes you simply like without special plans for them. This is because they are your first units and they'll help you with everything in general. Also, because you can't dump that many resources into them early on. But later on, once you get to around AR40 and above, the amount of resources needed to max out a hero are pretty insane. So you should be a bit more considerate of where you're putting your resources. Let's make a hypothetical flowchart thing. Or maybe I'll actually make one, I'm not sure yet. I'm pretty bad at these things, but if there is a chart here, just know I did my best and don't bully me. So, firstly, do you struggle with any content the game currently has to offer? Not many people can say no to this question due to the existence of Spiral Abyss, but if you can, you're probably not watching this video. But in case you are, best idea in this case would be to just hold on to your resources until more content comes out that requires more or different units to be raised. Assuming you're a normal person and said yes, we need to concentrate it down a bit. Honestly, just down to Spiral Abyss anyway, because for everything else you can be carried in co-op or use a lot of food to overcome tough battles. This still brings into question your overall goals though. If you can beat all content you currently have access to, but simply want to do it faster, that's another story. though not really, since condensed resin is a thing now, effectively halving your runtimes without having to get stronger. Yeah, let's just start with your main team. You have a main DPS, right? Cool. Next thing you need is someone to complement them, and a lot of that comes down to either elemental reactions or the type of damage your main DPS is dealing. For example, in Razor's case, his most important companion is going to be a cryo unit that can inflict cryo, which can then be turned into superconduct with Razor's electro skills, reducing their physical defense, and that's important because Razor inflicts primarily physical damage. I could go on forever with examples, but ultimately this is something you'll just have to think about, since I have no idea what main DPS you're rocking. Next is a healer. As long as they heal, they're doing their job and it's generally fine. Of course, if they help with resonance or reactions, it's better, but don't stress about it. And the fourth spot is typically a fill-in spot, typically reserved for fulfilling resonance, extra element reactions, or just for some special stage that requires a certain type of hero. Once you have a good core team, it's time to start thinking about Spiral Abyss. It's a decent way to slowly farm Primogems twice a month, so the more stars you can get, the better. Since Spiral Abyss requires 2 teams of 4 heroes each after the early stages, you're looking at around 6 heroes raised at least. Sometimes you can get away with very low level heroes if they're just there for their element. You will definitely want at least 1 each of the 4 main elements. You don't strictly need Geo or Anemo, but they have their uses. Geo units are good to break Geo shields, but you can also do this with any Claymore user. They can also provide protective shields with their 1 elemental reaction, Crystallize. Anemo units, for now, are more support-based, but can help your main DPS deal more damage or bring more utility to the table. These types of units are generally the fill-ins as 4th spot. In general, Pyro heroes do very well in the later stages of Abyss. Special shout out to the 4-star Bennett. He's pretty much MVP for the final stage and plenty useful before that as well. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have written down here in my notes. To sort of reiterate and simplify, since every team and every player's sort of current position in the game, who they have raised, and just their, situation, it's all going to be different, and it's impossible to say which hero you should raise next. Generally, if you don't have a couple good, decent Pyro units, look into raising a Pyro. If you happen to get like Bennett and you didn't have him before, that's a pretty easy option there. And of course, even if you don't have all like the good and correct units for Spiral Abyss, you can definitely just hoard your resources as well until you get someone that would fill a role, or waiting for a new hero to come out that you really want. So which hero you should raise next ultimately comes down to your situation. However, once you're a little bit further into the game, I would definitely keep Spiral Abyss always in mind when you're raising your unit. Are they going to help you with whatever floor you're struggling with? If not, I would definitely consider raising someone who will help you. And again, for the hardest stage, Pyro units are going to be very helpful here. You will also need a couple of Cryo units because the final chamber of that final floor both have the Electro Fatui guys, and you need Cryo to get rid of their shields. Does that mean you should go out and raise a Cryo if you happen to have one? Not necessarily, because they have, different separate roles. In the Cryo's case, their main role is to be able to get rid of the Electro Fatui shields, right? But if you're careful enough, you can do that with a level 1 Kea and a level 1 Chongyun, or a level 1 Chi-Chi, or whatever. But if you ever get a Chi-Chi, definitely raise her. She's amazing. But going back to like Bennett, he needs to be raised for multiple reasons. Fire damage gets a massive bonus there, and while Bennett isn't really, a main DPS, so to speak, he still can do some solid damage. At least mine can, once he's raised, with all those Abyss bonuses we have there. And also his ult, when you're standing in that ring, the character standing in that ring gets an attack bonus based off of his base attack. And the only way to raise his base attack is by leveling him and giving him a strong weapon. Then there's also like Geo/Claymore users to get rid of Geo shields. They are also going to be important. And I would definitely have to say they're also going to be important to raise at least a little bit, because you do actually have to attack with them to break those shields. Especially in a Claymore's case, unless you're like some kind of god at the game and can just swing on them, for a good 10 seconds until the shield is broken, while also avoiding every single attack. Because if you don't raise them at least a little bit, they're going to get one-shotted in those higher floors. So yeah, we've mainly just been talking about how to be the most efficient sort of with who you're raising, and of course that's what this video is sort of targeting. But I think it is important to always remember, it is a game, it should be fun, and if you're just raising like the most effective heroes, unless, you know, just being efficient is fun for you, then you're not going to have fun. And while I do aim to try and provide, you know, the sort of efficient information and all of that, I do still think it's important to raise the heroes you like. The heroes you like looking at, the heroes you like, their fighting style and all of that. But yeah, make sure to tell me what you think in the comments down below. If you have like an overall hero you would raise if you ever got, like full stop, like drop everything you're doing, even if you're in the middle of raising someone else, forget them, focus on this hero. Who is that hero for you? I'd be definitely curious. Bonus points if it's a 4-star, because, you know, most 5 stars, you know, it's just like that. When you get a 5-star, most of them are going to be better than most 4 stars. That's just how it is. They have better stats, typically have better ults and skills. But yeah, drop all that juicy information in the comments down below. Make sure to drop a like on this video if you did happen to enjoy. Thanks, as always, for watching, and until next time.